Welcome to Dragon Sanctuary, a podcast dedicated to helping you expand your light for ascension. Let's stay curious and build community. And now, here's your host, Vick.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode on Dragon Sanctuary. I am definitely coming in here on another impromptu episode, and I do feel that that's the best for me. I really do. So if you're watching, first of all, I don't know if what I got going on is a whole damn vibe or not. For those of you who are not watching, I have an incense going. So it looks pretty smoky in here. Very dragoness. And I'm just going for it. I could definitely move it over out of the camera frame rather, but honestly, to me, it's looking like a vibe. It's looking like a vibe. And that is today's episode. Today's episode is called Vibe. Vibes. I don't know if I'll be allowed to do 4 words. I think I have to do 5. So it might be vibes. But you know what I'm trying to say. And I know most of you listening will probably be able to relate to this. When you walk into a room, what's the vibe? When you meet someone for the first time, what's their vibe? When you go to a new restaurant or you go to a new place for vacation or something, what's the vibe? And let's be real, the vibe is not always a vibe. Sometimes the vibe is off, sometimes the vibe is heavy, sometimes the vibe is too much. It's too much. Sometimes the vibe is too much. And I'll be honest, that's kind of been my vibe lately. How do I say this without sounding a certain way? But basically, I have a very specific vibe that I'm wanting lately. And sometimes I'll go somewhere or I'll interact with people and I'll be like, it's not really my vibe. And I don't really want to do this. I don't want to sound rude or I don't want to come off a certain way, but it's just not my vibe. And I think learning how to navigate this is challenging, especially when it comes to dynamics. So with your friends, between your family, or I don't know, anyone, coworkers, whomever. Actually, I just realized my cup is also a vibe. Drinking some magnesium, and these are some sardines. Excuse me. And I really have been trying to protect my vibe. So you may even know today I'm wearing my glasses. Yeah, because I have a migraine. That's the vibe today for Vick. Vick woke up with a migraine. Is she getting sick? I'm actually not sure what's happening. My partner is feeling a little under the weather, which is rare. So I'm wondering if last night we picked something up. I don't know, yesterday or the last couple days. So yeah, I have a migraine. So my vibe is rose colored today. I'm looking through the rose colored glasses today because that's my vibe. And what I'm trying to say is sometimes you have to do things to see things in a different lens, literally through a different lens. And there's tools that you can use to like either remove yourself from the vibe, not let the vibe affect you, or my favorite option, change the vibe. We have the power to change the vibe, believe it or not. So like, think about it. Think about that one friend. When you see them, like you might feel like, oh, I don't, I wasn't really wanting to go out today, or I was, I'm a bit overstimulated, I'm a little tired. And then you see that friend and the vibe is instantly like this. It's to 100. You're like, dopamine hit. Imagine being that person all the time for everyone. Is it sustainable? Maybe not. But I do believe that we have a choice. Now, there are a lot of variables for vibes. So, like, for me personally, a variable that I struggle with is migraines. I still get them. Vertigo, less. Fortunately, I did have vertigo twice in the last, like, week. It was mild, but it was intense. Like, it was mild, but it was intense. What does that mean, Vic? Okay, what that means is, like, what I'm used to. My episodes usually last for like days. This lasted for like an hour and a half. So for me, that's what I mean by mild. Intense is what it was. It was intense. It was, I needed a back rub. I needed to lay down. I needed, to black out the world. I needed to really relax. And I know for other people, there are other things that could affect their vibe that are like emotions could also affect the vibe. So like if you're going through something, if you're a female and you're going through a certain part in your cycle, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through the loss of a loved one, if you just lost a pet, if you just, I don't know, your favorite pot just cracked. Like that emotionally could affect the vibe. That could affect the vibe of the rest of your day. Now, do we want to live in those vibes? No, obviously not. And that's why this episode is feelings, emotions, vibes. Like, I mean, I'm just using a certain term. But my message is really about making a conscious choice and something that has helped me because I get caught in a vibe sometimes. Like sometimes my family knows the Vic vibe. Like it's sometimes like this. And I used to like be like, uh-huh. Sometimes I still am actually. Like a bit of a fed up vibe, a bit of a I don't know how to describe it. I know the vibe because I'm doing it on purpose. I'm aware of it. Like I'm aware of the vibe that I am, which I mean, I think I get some credit for that because I think some people have a certain vibe or I deserve some credit because I think some people have a certain vibe and they don't even know that they're giving off the vibe. And then you tell them that they're giving off a vibe and they're like, what do you mean? You were giving off a vibe. And you're like, huh? What is going on with the vibe? The vibes are not good and I'm feeding off your energy. And this is kind of where I'm going. If everyone's vibe was high, we would just be high vibes. Yeah, I know. It's not very mind-blowing. It's just like a simple reminder. So there is a contrast to this. And the contrast to this is that sometimes we're not able to keep our vibes up. So like I personally am a Cancer. For those into astrology, there's many different lenses, human design, soul contract. There's many different lenses that you could look at someone and their makeup. Okay. Who they are, if you believe in that. If you don't, no problem. But for me, I feel like I hold the vibes for a lot of people. And like, I bring a certain vibe. And I consciously try. I think that also it's bias vibes. So what I mean by that is like, I'm not going to bring the same vibes that I bring to like my family than I would to my friend. And that's something I'm working on. So like the way that I treat my best friend, Jess, and the way that I treat my mom is probably going to be a different vibe. They're not going to see the same fluidity of Vick. Maybe they do. I'll have to ask them. They're definitely coming on the podcast. It's been long overdue. Maybe I'm not going to have them both on at the same time because that would erupt the internet. I'm just joking, but it would be too good of an episode to record at one time. So we'd have to break it up into two separate interviews. And I have some exciting stuff that I'm going to be coming out and changing and just doing a little bit of a different vibe. I'm going to be doing a bit of a different vibe to my podcast very soon. And I don't know, I'm going to save that question for them. Like, what's my vibe usually? Maybe I'll put them on the spot. But if they listen to this episode, they might know. Anyways, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that's okay. Because I think most people do that. So like another perfect example is like the way you treat your spouse is going to be differently than the way you treat your friend. Now, the question that I have for everybody listening is like, is that okay? Like, are those two vibes okay? Those two versions of me are okay? I don't know. Like, the best way to find that out is to probably ask your people. I love feedback when I ask for it and when it's constructive. But that actually, let me clarify. When it comes to self-improvement, if I'm treating somebody in a way that they don't want to be treated, or they're unhappy with something I did or something I said, I always need that feedback. Whether it's appropriate or not, and by appropriate, I mean like time and place, I think it's important to always accept how you're making your loved ones feel. I think that that's like a huge part of growth as a human. However, there are times where like you might be having a conversation and sharing, your feelings, and you just want to be held, because that's the vibe. The vibe is you just want to be held. You don't want to be told that you need to do this, that, someone is really coming to mind. But anyways, sometimes you just want to really hold a person and say that you're okay. You're okay. We got you. Sorry you're going through this right now. And chills, but I'm being a little dramatic, but anyways, and cryptic, and I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to respect people, just trying to respect people I love. But basically, what I'm trying to say is read the vibes. When you can learn, I'm always been fascinated by people. I really do believe I should have been a psychologist, and that's okay. I'm still learning every day, and I'm pursuing, reading. I love to read or, learn. So there's never a moment that's too late to learn something new if you're passionate about it. I mean, hence why I'm here on this podcast today. So my point is that I've always enjoyed learning about people and observing people. Maybe I should have been an anthropologist. I would have loved to be, honestly. I think it's one of the coolest jobs in the world. So if you value relationships and vibes, and if you value people and moments, I think taking a moment to like check your vibe before you go somewhere and before you enter a space is one of the most important things you can do for yourself and for people you love. So for me, you've probably seen me, for example, holding this device. And for those of you who are not watching and are listening, you're probably like, okay, what is the device? It's this like wooden acupressure, wooden acupressure piece. And I got it from this local shop here where I live, and I clean them out. They're actually made in India. There were a donation. So like you would donate as much as you want. It's an art shop where I live. And I fell in love with this item. I would go to the store, and every time I'd go, I'd buy like 2 or 3. And then one day I went back and I was like, I'm obsessed with these. Like obsessed. Can I clear you out? And that was actually funny because the chick at the front was like not a vibe. She was like, no, we don't have any. Like that too. She said it like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Would you mind just like double checking? Because I really want them. And like I knew they had more. I just had a feeling. So the owner comes around and like he kind of knew me. I had like purchased a few things from there, and he was like, let me go downstairs. I think I might have some like tucked away. And lo and behold, he comes up to the cash and he has a massive, well, a plastic bag. To me, it looked massive, of these in all shapes and sizes. And I was like, how much for the lot? No, literally. How much for the lot? Like, I don't want to insult you. Like, I'm clearing you out. Is that okay? Because, like, I don't know where I'm ever going to be able to find something like this. Like, I need to go to India, I guess. It was for a really good cause as well. Just side note. So, when I'm trying to check my vibe, like, people that know me know that, like, I rub this thing on my head a lot because I get migraines and vertigo and whatever. And, like, it has a tip for acupressure where you can, like, this is like a very tender spot for me in the back of my neck with all my brain injury stuff. And I think too, just like even as a human, we carry a lot of pressure in the back of our necks. Like think about, we're holding our heads up all day. So for me, I use this a lot. Like I find too, like when I'm having a conversation, or I know a conversation might be emotional, I use this. Like, you know, it's like a stress ball in a lot of ways. I don't bring it out with me, but sometimes I have. Like, I've definitely brought it with me places. I ran on vacation, bring it on a plane. Really helps with inflammation in my hands. But some people like, oh, another one that I like is like essential oils. That really calms my vibe. It's a really common way that you might already know and be doing is smudging. So like incense, clearing the room. Like you guys can maybe see Florida water behind me. I use that a lot. Just boom, boom, boom. On the ribs, on the kidneys, on the back of the neck. Sometimes it's like actually more of like a literal thing that you need to do, which is like jump up and down or like dance or shake it out. Like even last night I was having a conversation with Mitchell and I was like, I need to get up and I need to bust a move and say this and sing a song. Because I was making a point about something. So I would encourage you to like go into your toolbox and like think about like what can improve your vibe, what can shift the vibe for you. What is it? A lot of people love like tea, you know, a lot of people love to like meditate, a lot of people love to go outside, a lot of people love to shower, go in a body of water, go in the forest. A lot of people like to buy things. I used to be like that. It's okay too, if it's okay. only you know your financial situation. Anyways, I don't want to belabor the point because I really think that it's important to know when to cut the vibe and like not really drill in a point. So I hope that this resonates with some of you and you can really pick up my vibe. And I haven't pulled a card. And I only have 2 decks in front of me, my 2 faves. So let's do the Dragon Oracle. And let's see the vibes that our dragons want to tell us, leave us with, I should say. Let me a moment here to just ground and ask the question for us. That one was really popping out of the deck. Wow. I used to be scared of this deck because I loved it so much. I don't even know if that makes sense, but how I felt. So the deck is Omega Dragon. I'm going to show it to you. It's beautiful dragon. Beautiful dragon. The message is harness the divine feminine power of creation. Intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. I have pulled this dragon before. It's a beautiful dragon. The energy is really, 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 really nice. And I don't know if you can see here. Look at the vibes. Beautiful. It's like an egg. This is actually very symbolic to a conversation I was having with my stepsister yesterday, which she's going to be coming on again and we're going to be talking about this. But this is Vanessa, this is for you. This is the vibe for you. Beautiful. Okay. Omega, Omega, Omega. Which dimension are we in here? I apologize. I didn't pull this before the session. As I mentioned, this was purely on the spot. Where is it? Omega. Okay, wow. It's ninth. Okay. It's actually the second last dragon in the deck. It was very symbolic. Okay. Let's go here. Let's get to it. I'm really building it up and I think it's worth it. But no numbers, no numerology on this card. But if it's significant for you, it is for some. It's on page 108. So this deck has an about and this deck has a guidance, which is really nice. So again, I'll repeat. Omega Dragon. Harness the divine feminine power of creation. Intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. About. So, ninth dimensional Omega dragons carry the divine feminine vibrations of Shekinah, the universal energy that created our world. Shekinah is the feminine counterpart of Archangel Metatron's higher light and represents pure creative vision. These powerful beings are assisting the birth of higher consciousness on Earth. Collectively, they hold the vision for the new golden age. And this will enable us to achieve the intentions set by Lady Gaia, that's the universe, for those of you who don't know, Lady Gaia, for the evolution of the planet. These beautiful silver white dragons will also help us hold a personal vision for the highest good. Every wish starts with a thought that is translated into a picture. These dragons can see into our mind and will hold our vision with us. Love it. Everybody pause and have their vision. Hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Now, guidance. When an Omega Dragon comes to you, it is time to give birth to a special new project, pathway, or aspect of yourself that has remained hidden. Call upon these dragons to fill you with the power of the divine feminine. This will enable you to hold your vision and bring it to fruition in a wise, balanced, and harmonious way. Most important of all, ask the Omega Dragon to look into the greatest desire of your soul and hold the vision of bringing it into manifestation. I invite you to pause and breathe and feel what that is. For me, I needed to take a pause to do that because I have that vision very clearly. These dragons can be any shape or size, so just still your mind and give them permission to merge with your energy. Ask them to soften your path and the paths of all who hold the vision of the new golden age. Thank you, Omega Dragon, and dragons, I should say. And thank you to everyone for listening to today's episode. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And remember, keep the vibes.